Hi, this is Phil Taylor, and in this video I'd like to give some tips on how to build up speed and improve your general fluency on the guitar. Of course, it's very important how you hold the pick when playing the guitar, and a lot of people have different methods and different ways of how they like to use the pick, but I personally prefer to hold the pick with the point exactly at 90 degrees to the ground, so I'm keeping it nice and straight down, clenching my thumb and index finger right in so they make a nice sort of straight line. To warm up, I'll often just practice on one string, say the G string because it's the loosest string on the guitar. Now just try and make sure that my pick is very, very straight with the string, always staying going straight down and up. And, I always pick very shallowly to make sure that I don't get the pick lost in the string, so it's not going too deep. I think it's really important if you want to get fast to keep the pick very nice and light, very shallow, right on top of the strings, just skimming, gliding over the surface. To also improve the clarity and smoothness of my playing, I make sure that the palm of my right hand is resting on the strings above. That's what I'm saying, picking on the G string for this exercise. I'll cover the D, A and E strings with the top part of my thumb there, sort of a fleshy part of the thumb, and also on the other side I use my middle finger and third finger to actually cover the other two, just slightly sort of closed in, brushing over them to stop that kind of unwanted sound coming in as well. So then I've got complete cover and I can just enjoy picking. One of my favourite warm-up exercises is this one in C minor, which starts at the 5th fret on the G string. It's really just a 4-note round, very common round in guitar. So it's really just using C, B flat, A flat, G, A flat, B flat notes all the way through. One of the main things is to keep your little finger as low as you can to the string so that it doesn't go too high and splay off, which can be a very sort of common habit. So you want to try it when you're practicing it slowly. Try and keep it at least as close as you can to the 5th fret, so your finger is it's actually waiting ready for its note. When I first started the guitar, one of the first things I discovered from messing around was actually the E minor Aeolian mode, or basically the E natural minor scale, which is basically E up to the next E octave, just E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, and back down. And that's what I used a lot to practice and develop my speed right from the beginning. And I was always into alternate picking, as opposed to economy picking, which I just always preferred alternate picking as a style. But I actually started with basic hammering of the notes. So to begin with, I'm just going. So you start with the downstroke on the open E 6th string, then hammer on the 2nd and 3rd frets, which are F sharp and G, change to the A open string, hammer the 2nd and 3rd frets, which are B and C notes, then change to the D string with the downstroke, then hammer 2nd fret, which is E, and then you pull off to the open D string, then pick down on the 3rd fret of the A string, which is the C note, and do 2 pull-offs, which are B and A notes, back to the E6th string for a downstroke on the note of G, and 2 pull-offs to get back to the beginning. So you go. So playing it slowly, it's faster, and getting gradually faster. And then I went on to alternate picking all the notes instead, the next stage, which would be using down and ups all the way. vertical all the way, no sort of outwards movement of the hand or the pick. It's also really important to use, like I was saying before, a very light picking motion, just skimming the surface of each string, so not picking deeply into the strings. Makes the picking much smoother. So playing it slowly first. Getting a bit faster. Gradually speeding up. So to get my speed, I'm always trying to skim evenly and accurately across each string. Sort of never picking too deeply. I find that really helps, and I'm always trying to keep the pick parallel with the strings at all times. And, another thing I like to then do is just use 6 notes of the scale instead, either to use hammers and pull-offs or pick all the notes. And then I pick and go. What you can then do, which is what I did, is use different variations on that scale and just use different amounts of notes, like say a 4-note round, getting up to 6 notes or 7 notes and then coming back. So like there are endless variations you can make up as you go along, just using that one scale. Manifestations of that scale. Then another one of my favourite exercises for speed picking development is just a 4-note round starting on the B string and literally just going B, C, D, E, D, C and back to B. So a 4-note round, which is all very popular on the guitar and used a lot in flamenco music, and by great guitarists like Al Di Meola, who sort of really popularised this technique on electric guitar as well as acoustic. So there I'm just doing a 4-note round to begin with. It's crossing between the B and the E string. So just going B, then E string and back. And picking wise I like to start, you can start either with an upstroke or a downstroke, but starting with the downstroke, just basically going down, up all the way. So down, up, down on the first 3 notes, and then nice sort of scoop up on the E open first string, and then down, up, down to finish. And of course you just go round and round in the circle until you get fast. But the main thing is it has to be really clean and accurate. To help with the clarity, I'll always use my palm to sort of block off and mute the remaining 4 strings to get rid of any unwanted noise or hiss and stuff. So when I'm playing this, sort of side of my thumb, my palm is blocking off those 4 strings, the E, A, D and G. I find it then nice and easy to concentrate on the round. And then the other thing I was doing was adding the first string into it as well, to give a bit of a variation, going just onto E, F, G notes on the first string as well. And coming back. So basically going that comes from just loads of long hours of slow practice, just going through like the 4-note rounds and using that particular scale, which was just the E Phrygian mode. Extended up to the G note on the 3rd fret, so 2 octaves plus basically, E Phrygian mode. Another favourite exercise of mine for building up speed picking is using the same kind of 4-note round but starting an octave higher, starting on E on the 17th fret of the B string, and then doing pretty much the same round of 4 notes. Also, this is a great one for building up speed and coordination between the two hands, because of course I haven't spoken much at all about the left hand and how the left hand fits in with all of this, but in terms of fingering the notes for these rounds, also that when one finger comes on, the one previous to it has to come off at exactly the same time. So when you're playing like the first round, as you go down the scale, once you played your little finger on the E note there on the 5th fret, when your second finger comes on, the little finger comes off, but only when the second finger has landed, and not before, otherwise you'll get an unwanted staccato-y kind of effect and it won't be smooth. So you want to have and then when your first finger lands, the second finger comes off at exactly the same time but no earlier. So again, for maximum smoothness or legato effect, to get your scale to sound nicer, get the round to sound nicer. So that's just using consonant alternate picking, going down, up, down, up, down, all the way, just on the one string, on the second string, and making sure that all the other strings are muted out, keep it nice and clean and clear, so it should feel really constant as you're playing it, with no mess. And then using the first string as well, so rather than just using the one string, you do the same exercise using the first 2 strings. So that's also then using the same 4-note round, but having to cross strings, which is great practice for your speed picking technique. Then adding a top note on the 17th fret of A as a variation. So then it's just using basically the Phrygian mode in E, swapping between the first and second strings. I hope you'll join me on my next video when I'll go more into using all 6 strings to do proper exercises all across all the 6 strings of the guitar, and more shreddy exercises and things. Thanks very much for watching, and see you soon.